Hello, let's look at Nifty today, the index. Nifty 50, this is the daily chart that we're looking at currently. I've plotted 3 support levels. There were also resistance levels when the Nifty was rising. Now they have become strong support levels 22527, 20976 and 19513. These are going to be strong support levels for the Nifty from here on. Now the special thing about Nifty of course is that it's in new highs. So the ones to watch are 22527, 209, 976, 19513. If you're wondering about this being 2100 and this being 2200, 2300 is being 19 or 20,000, you can round up if you want. I prefer exact levels. These are derived from the resistance and supports that the price forms. This is not about rounding to the nearest figure. The market tends to react to rounding figures as well, but the precise values are much more effective. Yeah. Now this is the daily chart. If you look at it, it's making new highs. I'll talk about a little bit about that as well. Now if you just scale back a little, you can see something very clearly. One, if you go all the way back, right? I mean, I'm not going all the way back, but till 2012, 2011, there is a very secure, almost bull market in the market, in the Nifty, and you can see that the uptick was much more gradual before, but recently it has really scaled up, and that's why people are talking about these extraordinary returns in the last few months and so on and so forth. So from 2020 to now, so if you talk about from the bottom, that's almost at 7,700 to about 24,000 now. Yeah, so that's almost 300% gains just from that, just on the index, and this is 4 years. Now if you go into further analysis, there are a couple of things that I wanted to look at here. One was how does this look on the weekly and the monthly trends, and what can we expect from the Nifty from here on in terms of new highs, new levels, new resistances and supports, because drawing out resistance and supports from the previous price is still possible because you've got something in the back that you can work on. For example, these levels are derived from a lot of activity that happens within the price themselves. So there are two ways of looking at it, right? One, you have a past price. For example, if you have this area where there's a past price and you're rising from here, you've got resistances and supports from the past price based on analysis. The other way of looking at it, what was happening over here? There was a new high again. How do we go about predicting where Nifty is going to go, where it's going to face support? You don't even need to know targets. Your main concern there is what would happen if it hits a certain level and drops from there. How would I know if it's reaching peak? These are the questions that we need to answer, right? So that we'll look at a little. With new levels forming in the Nifty now, that's going to be super important. If you look at the weekly chart and the monthly chart, you'll see a very similar thing happening. What's actually happened is, let's look at from 2020. The previous trends can stay there. We are very far from them. They don't affect the markets currently. That those will act like a base. But if you look at this, right, 2020 till here, September 2021, October 2021 is when we formed the first top here. This was the first trend moving up, a very nice strong uptick. Then you saw another year almost of a base forming, right? And then the base formed and the Nifty stayed right there a year and a half. And then now we are seeing again the Nifty trend up from this low here, which was on the March of 2023, but the real uptrend has begun right here if you see. But then yeah, you could consider this as a box and then you could see this moving up. So this is basically where the Nifty is currently. Now if you're looking at projecting trends, these three are going to be super important. I want to show you something else that's also going to be important. So go with the swing of the recent low of this recent swing, 75.11 to a high of 18,605. Yeah, and you've got something called the Fibonacci projector, 75.11 to 18,605. Let's do that. draw approximation first, and you'll already start seeing a lot of things, but let me punch these in. 7511 to 18605. Sorry, that's 18605. Let's click OK. You don't even need to have the right days, that's okay. It's at the right levels. It's based on levels mainly. Now let's look at Fibonacci here, right? This is the monthly chart. Do you see the lines forming around our similar prediction levels that I've got? So one of the zeros is here, which is 18618. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's forming a top right here, but I find this more critical, 19513. These two are going to be super strong support levels. The Nifty should not break that if it wants to keep this uptrend secure. I literally mean the last 5 years. And then if you look at what's coming right ahead, one of the first things you'll notice is that these levels of 38.2% and 50% that the Nifty is charting right now, you see a constant testing, a constant movement around these areas. These are super important. Nifty is going to test 24165. I'll give you a new level right now as a matter of fact. 24165, you can estimate it. It's going to be very close to that. And then the next target for us, once a base is formed here, a small base, it doesn't really have to be a lot because it looks like there's a good push trend currently. There's a lot of strength in the market. So 50% is around here, 61.8 is around 25475, and then you've got 100% scale up from that projection, that is 29712, about 30,000, right? If you look at the weeklies as well, it pretty much confirms what we're talking about. Pardon me. The weekly chart, there it is. So the projection, again, we projected from that bottom to there, and then all the way, this is the base that you see, and then that's where the Nifty is currently, right? Let's go into the daily. Again, a similar trend here. What I'm looking at as an important level, which is very close to this one, is the top of this candle, which is around 24363. Right, so let's put one over there. 24363. Now Nifty is facing resistance there currently. It doesn't mean that it's going to face a lot of resistance. These are new levels forming. The pricing there hasn't built yet into the system. People haven't really put in a lot of money or taken off a lot of money there. Remove the dotted line there, please. And then we've got that, right? On top of that, you can see these dotted lines and the green lines, and these are very close to my levels that I'm plotting. I plot them basis the price directly. The Fibonacci is very close to them most of the time. Right? For example, here there's no Fibonacci level. Here there's one, but it's quite far. It's almost 1,000 points away. So close, but my levels tend to be more precise. These are derived from additional price analysis. That's what's happening in the market, plus the way the candles are forming, where the resistance support is important. This is a resistance currently, 2463. 24363, and this is going to be one of an important resistances to gain. This is a critical support for the 50% projection. Basis this, we would see the Nifty scale up much further on to 25,000 and also then to 30,000, which is way up here. Yeah, and that's how I see the Nifty for now. For now, it's very bullish and strong. If you see a fall, unfortunately, because the rise is sharp falls are also expected. So for example, you saw a quick correction here, not a fall as such, not a real base formation. The base had already formed. Obviously, this was the announcement before the elections and all of that, and there was some uncertainty in the market, panic, and some people also going by news. So this happened. So these kind of corrections do happen once in a while, very quick corrections. But if you're looking at Nifty as an investor, look at long-term levels, look at benefit derived over time, the compounded plus the benefit of staying in the market. I don't mean only positively. You could also short the Nifty if you want, depending on if you're going with the trend. The benefits there are much higher than you just getting into quick trades. Because the risk versus the benefit there is much much more volatile. Yeah. So that's the Nifty, and it's looking good currently. And those are the trends that we're looking at, and we looked at how we would go about predicting and plotting future levels with using the Fibonacci projector. Thank you for watching.